What is going on, guys, and welcome back to another episode of the Main Event Review. Thank you very much for tuning in once again. We're a couple days late, just given some personal commitments and stuff, but I'm here to break down the 3 matches that happened on Main Event. Yes, we're back to 3 matches. Always good when it's 3 matches but we've watched the episode of Raw as well, the latest episode, so I might chime in with a few sort of Raw bits as well, based on obviously the matches that have happened on Main Event. But otherwise, yes, we're a week away from Backlash as well, so I guess I might as well give my early predictions on who I think is going to win at Backlash, and then I'll follow that up by a review with Main Event next week. But we'll get started with the first match. We had Jordynne Grace taking on Lash Legend, which could definitely well be a SmackDown match. These two are both SmackDown superstars, but they find themselves on Main Event. And for me, it was the best match of the 3. It was a really, really good match. Obviously, Jordynne Grace, ever since she took on Jade Cargill to fill in that sort of gap between, the road to WrestleMania and WrestleMania itself, did a decent job. But since then, she hasn't really got much time. Do I see her sort of going around the US Championship for the women? I do. Against Tiffany Stratton, they're both baby faces. So, look, who knows what's going to happen. But Jordynne Grace, to cut it short, hasn't really been doing much. And based on this match, it looks as though they're sort of following up more with Lash Legend, because they give her the victory here. She uses the lash extension to get the victory. I'm not sure whether she continues with Nia Jax, but I feel as though that's sort of starting to expire. I think those two need to sort of separate, and Lash Legend needs to sort of forge her own path, because she's done really good since she's come on the main roster. She's beaten Charlotte Flair. She's been dominant. So I don't see why she couldn't have an opportunity to sort of elevate herself as a single star. Although I do think that she's done really good work with Nia Jax, and Nia Jax has done a really good job in sort of mentoring her if she has, or just them being together has been really good. I just don't really see much else they can really do. They dropped the belts at WrestleMania. Don't really see this partnership lasting any longer. And, Jordynne Grace, I think, the best path for her is probably going for the Women's United States title. I think she's around that echelon. And seeing her battle for that might be good. And eventually, who knows, she might win the title. I think that's where she's at. She did lose the number 1 contendership match against Tiffany Stratton, but I'm sure she can go back for seconds and try to win that belt. But, that was a really good display from those two. And, I'm really looking forward to see how they go. They've obviously now almost a year in to their debuts since getting on the main show. They've had their, obviously, WrestleMania moments. Well, not Jordynne Grace, but Lash Legend has. And we've got new NXT stars coming in this year as well. So there's just a lot to be excited about for the new stars, as well as these two. And I know Lash Legend has, the power and strength and the force to be able to be something big as well. So just look out for these two. It's great to see them on Main Event, but I'm excited to see what they'll do on the main roster. And I hope they sort of go through the routes that I've predicted, but, time will tell. And then we had Otis taking on NXT star Josh Briggs in a really, really good match. The crowd was popping for Otis. I haven't seen them that loud for Otis in a long time. Now, he got his opportunity on Raw to take on Obafemi's challenge, and, he got absolutely squashed. But I think there's going to be a moment where they need to pull the trigger on giving Otis another push, man. Ever since we didn't get the payoff from Chad Gable and Otis that we deserved, and what Otis deserved, a match between those two, that was a really good program, we haven't seen anything else from him besides, honestly, myself being every week on Main Event, entertaining the crowd, making people feel good. But this guy has real crowd backing. People love Otis. People connect with Otis. And they cheer for him. And it was very evident in this match. Josh Briggs is obviously a new and upcoming WWE superstar who, is trying to make a name for himself. And he did really well. He competed. He had some really strong moves on Otis. Not many people were able to sort of, body slam Otis like he did. But in the end of the day, Otis did get the victory. He is the main roster star. He did it with the Caterpillar Splash. And, the fans were rooting for him. So it's only a matter of time where I think WWE try to just give him one storyline where he gets another push. I think it would make complete sense for him. And I think it's something that he definitely deserves based on this pop. The pop was loud. If you watch this, you would have seen people non-stop cheering for him at the moment. And then we had the final match with Laredo Kid from AAA. He is the Cruiserweight Champion of AAA. Really good luchador. Took on Joaquin Wild, who's obviously a veteran luchador and is someone very familiar on Main Event and also in WWE for his high flying. He's obviously changed his look now. He's got this like mean mohawk. And he's obviously gelled his hair a lot, so it looks really flashy. But the match ended with Laredo Kid getting the, I would say, Spanish fly to get the victory and win here. And it makes a lot of sense given that he is the champion. And I think they're trying to just put eyes on AAA superstars. Obviously, WWE and TKO have bought out AAA. So the more exposure AAA stars get on WWE, the better for them and also the better for their careers. Like you've got him, you've got Mr. Iguana, you've got Psycho Clown, you've got Dr. Wagner Jr., you've got the Vikingo. You got a lot of these like AAA stars that are doing really well. And speaking of ones that are doing really, really well, like El Grande Americano is literally like the top man there at the moment. He's getting like crazy pops. And, you know, they're going to have a match with the original for the mask. And I expect El Grande to win it, the Ludwig Kaiser version. But, you know, AAA is showing some good stuff. I always talk about AAA here. Maybe sometimes I might just have to, like, let me know if you guys want me to review AAA as well. Because I am sort of getting ahead of it. And like I say, it's for me to sort of pick up my Spanish and learn it. But also be able to watch wrestling. So it's like killing two birds with one stone for me. You get an education language session while watching some really good wrestling. So, yeah, we get Laredo Kid from there. And it's good that they keep bringing out AAA stars. And I really hope some do get signed. Like, I really would like to see Mr. Iguana get signed. I know we've got Danhausen, who's been amazing. We've got R-Truth, who's been great backstage. But it'd be good to add some more backstage flavor and, you know, even potential matches. Maybe Mr. Iguana is Danhausen's mystery opponent. Who knows? That would be a big surprise. But yeah, that pretty much wraps up the main event review for this week. Again, 3 matches only, but we'll go quickly into Backlash. We've got, I think, 5 matches confirmed. We'll start with Seth Rollins and Bron Breakker. This match obviously was probably supposed to happen at WrestleMania. A lot of these matches, I feel, besides obviously Fatu and Sami Zayn, Trick Williams, Fatu, and Roman Reigns, I feel like those 3 matches could have been on the WrestleMania card if the storylines were done properly. So, you know, I definitely would have thought this match could have potentially made it, but obviously it didn't. So, to be honest, it's going to be hard to see who wins it. But I'm going to lean more towards Bron Breakker. Reason being is that it's his first match back. And I think he needs the victory more than Seth Rollins does. Like, obviously, if Bron Breakker wasn't injured, this match would have been at WrestleMania. So they have to settle for Backlash. And I think, obviously, there has to be some interference or something involved for Bron Breakker to win and for Seth Rollins to be protected. I just don't see them getting off, you know, Bron Breakker yet. Like, obviously, Seth Rollins looks as though that he's going to potentially challenge Roman Reigns for the World Heavyweight Championship next year at WrestleMania. I think that's where they're going with, just based on just what we've been teased and assumptions and all that. And they still haven't had their one-on-one program, so why not have it at WrestleMania? I do think Roman Reigns is going to hold the title until WrestleMania. That's sort of my prediction there. But, you know, giving Seth Rollins the win this early doesn't move him away from the vision and onto big things yet. I still think that Seth Rollins is going to be in and around the vision too. And he needs time there. He needs at least a couple months, get to SummerSlam, maybe have another program, and then continue to tease on Roman Reigns for WrestleMania is what will happen. So eventually Seth Rollins will move on from the vision and will come out victorious, but I don't think it needs to happen now. I think we still have a lot of time before that. So that's why I expect Bron Breakker to win this match. And, you know, he also needs a big push. He maybe have a program with Roman Reigns. You know, there's a lot of people that can potentially battle Roman Reigns at the moment. So, like, we've got a long time till SummerSlam and they need programs. So this one needs to sort of drag on for a bit, I think. And then we have Sami Zayn taking on Trick Williams. And I think Trick Williams will get the victory here. I don't see them giving the title back to Sami Zayn. I think this is where we start to see Sami Zayn become like a proper heel. They're sort of already leaning towards Sami Zayn being the heel in this rather than Trick Williams, which is, you know, at the start wasn't like that. And now that obviously the fans have had enough of his character and are just starting to boo him all of a sudden, they've sort of flipped the script. Like, Trick Williams came out, Sami Zayn attacked the gingerbread man, and, Trick Williams came out and made the save and looked like the babyface. So maybe they're switching up on it. Or, Trick Williams is just getting authentic heat that's positive, and, Sami Zayn's getting authentic heat that's negative, and they've decided to make the swap. And I think that's why they're doing this match now, because before Sami Zayn was looked at the babyface, he wasn't, but the way the match was structured, the way the build-up was, and now it's gone the complete 180. So I expect Trick Williams to win. I expect Sami Zayn to fully turn heel, and then we'll see how his run goes. Because if his run's really good as a heel, he could potentially go at Cody Rhodes, and we might actually see something that's serious, I know Cody Rhodes has got his hands tied with Gunther, and Randy Orton still hasn't come back. He's definitely going to have something to say about that title. So just look out for potential Cody Rhodes opponents. Gunther being on SmackDown, I think, was the right move. I think his time was up on Raw. There's not really much else he could do. He could potentially have taken on Roman Reigns, but I feel as though they're looking at a bloodline storyline at the moment, and there's a lot happening on Raw there. And then we had this third match. So I said Trick Williams to win. The third match that could have got on WrestleMania for sure, it was Io Sky and Asuka. I feel really bad for Io Sky that she didn't get an opportunity to be at WrestleMania. I think it's a bit of a robbery. I know she helped Rhea Ripley with the title, and that sort of gave her a WrestleMania appearance, but she definitely should have been on the card. But they make it up to her, and Asuka as well, who does deserve. Like, this feud could have been easily a WrestleMania match. But it's not. We're going to see them 1v1 at Backlash. I expect Io Sky to win this one. If Kairi Sane was around, I might have expected Asuka to win and them have like a second match with a bit of a stipulation. But yeah, Io Sky should win this. I think this one should go 2 or 3. I think there should be a rubber match for this. I think this can extend as well. You can get Io Sky winning the first one, Asuka being very salty about it, and getting revenge, and then them having a third match, and then these two deserve stipulation. Like, we need to see a bit more violence between these two, I think. I think a normal match shouldn't end this feud. I think we get Io Sky winning the first one, Asuka winning the second, and then a third being whatever the feud is, whatever they could do, like a Japanese street fight. Like, anything could happen. I would love to see more from these two other than just this one match. Like, Io Sky's not getting near titles at the moment. So if they drag this on for a couple months, it gives Io Sky and Asuka something to do before Io Sky can move on and start going for titles once again, maybe taking on Liv Morgan or Becky Lynch in feuds. So they don't need to really rush her into moving on yet. I think they can use this as much as they want and run with it, because it's a really good, compelling storyline. They obviously have a lot of history together. They are both Japanese. They both come from New Japan Wrestling. Asuka was like sort of the first Japanese woman star to come onto the main roster and really dominate, and that opened the door for people like Io Sky and Kairi Sane. So why not, make this a worthwhile feud that people will be very interested in? Yeah, but I'm going for Io Sky for that one. And then we have Danhausen and his mystery opponent taking on The Miz and Kid Wilson. This is another one that I told you could have been on the WrestleMania card. Like, Kid Wilson has done a really good job in sort of, trying to figure out ways to get on TV. Now he's joined up with The Miz. The Miz continues to be really good at these type of roles. And Danhausen, he's absolutely been killing it. And he's got a lot of fans. How funny was his Backlash video? That was hilarious, mimicking the old sort of superstars doing Backlash. He's completely over. And regardless of who he has as his partner, I do suspect that Danhausen will win. And the match doesn't need to go long. It just needs to be about 5-10 minutes of pure comedy. And that's what I see. In terms of the mystery opponent, there's a lot of rumors. It could potentially be CM Punk. I don't know if I like that. I feel like it needs to be matched with someone unserious. That's why I wouldn't mind seeing Mr. Iguana, but I'm not getting my expectations too high, because, once you get your expectations too high, TKO find a way to sort of let you down. So I'm just going to wait simply and see who his opponent will be. If it's in Tampa, I'm trying to see who the local people are. I have no idea. I don't know who the partner's going to be. I'm going to make a guess that it could be either Mr. Iguana, it could be CM Punk, it could be Obafemi. I don't really want it to be. I don't think it makes sense. But those are sort of my guesses, and that's where I sort of finish with that. But, we'll wait and see. We'll wait and see as to who Danhausen's mystery partner will be in this match. And then we've got probably the main event of the match. It's Jacob Fatu taking on Roman Reigns. And look, Roman Reigns is 100% winning this. Like, it couldn't be any more obvious that Roman Reigns will win it. Obviously, after Raw, Jacob Fatu got the upper hand using the Tongan Death Clip. And, you know, he looked the stronger one coming out. And you know what that means? Roman Reigns is certainly winning this. Now, the thing that I'm more interested to see is what's going to happen with Jacob Fatu after Roman Reigns wins. Does he join Roman Reigns and the Bloodline? Does he become the enforcer or the right-hand man to Roman Reigns? Does he, you know, do his dirty bidding? You know, let's see. Because I don't think Jacob Fatu can just come out versus Roman Reigns and then just go away. I think there's got to be more to it. I think Jacob Fatu needs to fall in line. I think he needs to sort of not partner up with Roman Reigns, but join the Bloodline and acknowledge Roman Reigns and, you know, be doing his dirty work for him, being sort of like second to him all the time, being degraded, and then eventually snapping. That would make the most sense for me. But again, we'll have to wait and see. And that's something that I'm really excited for as well, because I think it'd be really captivating to sort of see how Jacob Fatu will be with Roman Reigns and how the new iteration of the Bloodline will go as well. So yeah, that's super exciting as well. But yeah, that pretty much wraps up the sort of main event review as well as the Backlash preview for this week. Again, I'll be back next week doing the main event review as well, and also obviously reviewing Backlash and giving my opinion on how the PLE gone. It's the first, or how the PLE will go. It is the first, obviously, PLE since WrestleMania, so exciting to see how that goes as well. But yeah, it's been your boy Daniel. You listen to another episode of the Main Event Review, and I'll catch you guys next week. Cheers.
Thanks for listening to the WWE Podcast. Don't forget to subscribe on your favorite podcast app so you don't miss a show, or head to WWEpodcast.com. And for all of these shows ad-free, head over to patreon.com/WWE Podcast. Until then, we'll see you next time.